What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to check out the recently posted class balancing adjustments in ROX Southeast Asia. This was quite the surprise, as these adjustments came out of nowhere, and it was quite unfortunate as one of the jobs that I'm currently playing got nerfed. But anyway, let's check out each of the classes that were included in the list provided by ROX. The link to this list is also shown in the description below. The first class on the list is the Monk, which is quite sad, as the changes that they have made for this job are not really good. For the first skill, which is the Massive Flame Blaster, the first item is not really a nerf. It is more of an improvement because it will no longer remove the Rising Dragon effect after the explosion. This is really good, as the Rising Dragon is basically the skill that gives a monk a massive power spike when it comes to its damage. However, for the second part of the adjustment, this is where it got nerfed, as it will no longer ignore the physical damage reflection of the target. This skill is very strong when it comes to fighting jobs that are using the physical reflex stat. However, with this adjustment, that will no longer be the case. Moving on to the next skill, and this is something that I really don't like, as the Steel Body skill has been nerfed big time. If you don't know what this skill does, it's basically the main survivability skill of a monk, as this allows this job to survive massive amounts of burst damage regardless if this is in PvE or PvP. So there are different layers of changes for this skill. So let's break them down one by one. The first one is that they are removing the effect that a monk cannot cast skills or use normal attacks in the Steel Body state. Now this is really good, as you can now continue to deal damage even if you are using the Steel Body. However, they are also removing the healing effect when you receive damage when you are in the Steel Body state. Now this is another nerf to this skill. On to the second point, the damage immunity computation has been modified, and it is in a negative way, as it has been lowered from 90% damage immunity down to 75%. On the contrary, since they have lowered the percentage, they are now adding a new effect which grants the monk an increase in movement speed for 3 seconds. To be honest, this new effect doesn't really do much in my opinion, and for the final nail in the coffin, they are increasing the skill's cooldown time from 12 to 30 seconds. That's insane, as they have doubled the amount of cooldown time for this skill. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite speechless with the nerfs that they have made for this class. But anyway, moving on to the next class, which is the Sage. The Summon Spirit skill's shield value, equal to 900% of the Sage magic attack, can no longer exceed 300% of the shield owner's max HP. Now to be honest, I don't really have any idea about the Sage class, so I'm not really sure if this is a positive or a negative change. Maybe we have some Sage players out there watching this video. You can write down your feedback for this class in the comment section below. For the next class on the list, we have the Assassin. For the Shadow Exceed skill, it now triggers when dealing damage with class skills while using a dagger. I'm assuming that this is a buff for this class. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, as I haven't really played this class for quite some time now. Moving on to the Rogue class, for the Abyss Slayer skill, this can now be used while hiding, and it will no longer cancel the hiding effect upon skill activation. Obviously, this is a buff for this class, as you can stay hidden while using this skill. Next is the Omega Abyss Strike, and they are removing the damage sharing effect of enemies within the skill's range. Now this seems to be a buff for this skill, because now, instead of sharing the damage across all enemies within range, each enemy caught in the skill will now receive the full amount of damage. If my understanding is right, then this is quite the buff for the Rogue class. Moving on to the next one, which is the Blacksmith, they have made some adjustments on the Axe Stomp damage computation, from up to 400% of the caster's attack, now up to 2000. Now that is a huge leap when it comes to its percentage. And finally, moving on to the final two jobs in this list, and this is for the Super Novice and Type 1 class. For the Novice class, the Drac Frost Nova's damage multiplier has been significantly increased. However, to balance it out, the trigger frequency has been reduced from 0.5 to 1 second. This is also similar to the changes that they have made for the Meteor Storm Buster, where the damage multiplier has also been significantly increased, and the trigger frequency has been reduced. In addition to that, they have also increased the damage delay from 0.5 to 1 second. For the Novice class, they have made strides when it comes to the damage multiplier of the skills. However, in order to balance it out, they reduced the trigger frequency as well as the damage delay of the skills. And finally, for the last class on the list, which is for the Type 1 job, the Anger of the Moon skill has been modified, where they are now removing the effect applied by the enemy whenever they landed a hit on the player, and they are also removing the instant death effect when your max HP falls below 20%. And these are all the changes and adjustments that they have made for this batch. These changes will take effect next week on August 8th. So what are your thoughts on these changes? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more ROX content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. GG! Do you want to stay online 24/7 in this game, but don't want to use your phone or you don't have a computer to do it? UgPhone has got you covered. UgPhone is a cloud emulator that is perfect for AFK grinding. It is a cloud phone that runs independently in the cloud without consuming the memory or battery of your physical device. Even if you close the UgPhone app, your game will still continue to run in the cloud, which makes this the perfect app for AFK grinding for 24 hours, 7 days a week non-stop. You can also run multiple instances of UgPhone in one account, which allows you to play multiple games or accounts simultaneously. UgPhone is available in Google Play for Android, App Store for iOS, Windows Store for PC, and you can also use a web browser to run UgPhone. If you want to try out UgPhone, you can use my link shown in the description below. Note that when you are playing in the Southeast Asian region, make sure to select the Singapore servers. You can also use my invitation code, which gives you an extra 488 diamonds from UgPhone that you can use to extend your time in using the device. 12 diamonds is equal to an hour of an extension, so the 488 diamonds is an additional 40 hours in using the UgPhone cloud device. So thank you guys, and thank you UgPhone for the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video.
You're a superhero.